right there.
Students right here.
I'm Dr. Laura.
They've already done
Educational leadership.
Elena.
Wow!
You know them.
That's surprise.
Yes.
And I did it, so. Of course. No, you stay here. We'll take care of you. Your whole program.
So what we're going to do is because the music is so loud, we'll let the
Border Patrol hat,
Really?
and they're celebrating their 100th anniversary on May the 28th. This is my third or fourth career as the county judge of Presidio. I retired as a state police captain. So I spent almost 25 years in the state police. So I understand the law and the government code, the penal code, everything that comes with it. So, and I've been a part of it. I spent a great deal of it doing criminal investigations. And a huge part of it was narcotics enforcement. So states, and the government included, it's very easy for them to pass a law. Here's what's difficult, for them to modify it or remove the law. So it doesn't happen. As a matter of fact, I would tell you this. Would it surprise you, and this is something that's in the news right now, they're going to reduce the schedule of marijuana, which is a Schedule 1 drug. They're reducing it to a Schedule 3. So up until not too long ago, cocaine had a different schedule. Why? Because it had a medicinal use. You have cocaine, Novocaine, for numbing effects. It had a medicinal use. No one ever took the time. So marijuana was worse than anything. And now we're coming to realize, wait a minute, it does have some benefits. Look at people that have eye issues.
So why not?
Yeah, and people like I'll tell you this is very interesting to me. I recently did a probate case where I had to name a guardianship for this young girl that had cerebral palsy, and she has 15 epileptic seizures a day, and she can't control herself. And you know what her attorney told me? They're starting to use CBD oils and medicines on her, and it's reduced her seizures from 15 a day to 1. It's more controllable. She would have uncontrollable.
So there's benefits.
There's benefits. I'll tell you this, again, going back to my law enforcement background. What does it cost? So if you catch somebody with a pound of marijuana, and then the hammer of justice goes, we're going to throw them in jail for a year. What does it cost to house a state prisoner? It's $50,000 a year. So so if I catch a guy with 200 pounds and I throw him in jail for 20 years, that's what cost is that to the taxpayer? It's $1 million. So then I get a young teacher that comes out of Texas Tech, and I congratulate her and I say, you're going to go get paid $40,000 for doing nothing short of getting an education and having your parents or you pay for it, and now you have a certificate. Go and teach our young kids how to become responsible young adults, and you're going to get $40,000, but I'm going to pay $50,000 to keep somebody housed in jail. Now, don't get me wrong. There are crimes, and we have to pay for crimes. And I'm not saying you're scot-free walk. I will tell you, the drugs are a huge portion of why people get in trouble in the first place. Burglaries, theft, everything that comes with it.
The cartels also involved in marijuana trafficking because it's now legal. Can they, and in some states, are they involved in it?
Less and less involved in marijuana trafficking. Of course, there are marijuana trafficking. Definitely, in some parts of the U.S. that it's not legal to consume marijuana for recreational purposes, like in Texas, for example. The use of marijuana for recreational purposes is not allowed. In other places like California, it is, but in Texas, it is not. But even though marijuana, the locally produced marijuana, are being sold in the United States. So there is no longer the necessity for the consumers of marijuana to export marijuana with the criminals, cartels. So they are just producing marijuana here. So this is no longer a major business for them. And then the criminals in Colombia, in Ecuador, in Mexico, in Guatemala are taking other businesses. They're taking the drugs, and then they're creating a market of consumption in those countries, affecting the living of people in those countries.
Well, I mean, it was never the case before. It used to be everything was exported.
Yeah, Mexico, Guatemala, Central America used to be transit countries for the drugs. But now that's no longer the case. They are consumption countries because they are consuming the drugs. See, the narcos were doing business this way. For every kilo of cocaine they were transporting to the US, they were keeping 1 kilo, and they were selling that kilo in Mexico, while the other kilo was being sold in the US. So that was like the situation. It's paying not in cash, but in cocaine. So for every kilo, there is 1 more kilo for them to keep. So the business just to spread everywhere in different cities, in both countries.